Hello everyone, Scott here again, and welcome back to the Guilty Pleasure Cinema, celebrating the movies you're embarrassed to love, and showcasing those you might have missed. And just getting off work and deciding that I need to do the video, blah blah blah, for Wednesday now, because tomorrow is an important day. But today's Monday, and I'm shooting this for Wednesday, and we're going to look at another Guilty Pleasures test. Yes, the third. The first non-asylum movie as well. Monster Brawl. It's the fight of the living dead. This is a ringside ticket you won't want to miss. Ultimately, Monster Brawl isn't so much a movie as the kind of sporting event you wish really existed. That's the key here. That's the problem that I believe we're going to have with this movie. The reason I'm doing this is payback, of sorts. Because when I first heard of this, I recommended it to my friend Jason over at Triskaideka Files. And said, you should probably check this out. It seems like it's up your alley. It's a cheesy horror movie. It's Canadian, so yeah, woo! Check it out. He did. And he said it's a concept that's fun, there's some good stuff in here, but there's no plot. It's just you're watching wrestling. And not in the sense of, like it's leading to something, you're watching an episode of Raw. He said WCW, so he knows a bit about what he's talking about. It's just watching one episode, plucked out of everything with no context for what came before or after. It's just, there you go. So when they say it's not so much a movie as said it's more of a sporting event you wish existed, that sounds like the case, actually, which is unfortunate. But for fans of this kind of thing, it's huge. The potential's there. So what I'm about to do is watch it here, because is it a guilty pleasure? I don't know. That's the point of the Guilty Pleasures test. The point here is to find out, is this worth your time? So far, I'm 2-0. I'm a little worried about this one, though. It's the one I'm most excited about, ironically, but let's find out.
War of attrition.
So, Lance Henriksen is the narrator.
Monster Brawl main event. I'm Buzz Chambers here
And they already got
legendary former
really
Sasquatch Sid Tucker.
Yeah, it just starts out like a wrestling show. He even says the former champion Sasquatch Sid, so Art Hindle's playing a Sasquatch. He's shaved, I guess.
It can only be described as a showdown for the ages. That's right, Buzz.
Yeah, literally, it's a wrestling show. It's even got the little thing in the logo. This is kind of... I'm really curious what how they're going to do this, because are they going to actually screw this up?
The undead.
Because it seems ripe for that.
Each conference contains 4 monsters.
Okay, they're talking about there's conferences.
Middleweight contenders,
middleweight
and heavyweights.
and heavyweight.
Let's take a quick look at our fight.
Okay, that makes more sense.
The undead conference.
So the undead conference has a mummy. Fair enough, looks normal. Lady Vampire instead of Dracula, that sucks.
Zombie Man.
Zombie Man, it's a zombie. And Frankenstein, who's...
The Creatures Conference.
He's gonna win. Then there's a creature conference.
Cyclops.
A dumb-looking Cyclops.
Witch Bitch.
Witch Bitch, which is a witch.
Swamp Gut.
Swamp Gut, Swamp Thing.
Werewolf.
And a werewolf. Like, they went all out for some, but not for others. Lady Vampire.
And the division titles are up for grabs. First up from the creatures.
Cyclops and Witch Bitch for the middleweight championship.
And for the undead.
And then Mummy versus Lady Vampire for the undead middleweight. Okay, I kind of get it. It's like a wrestling pay-per-view. Swamp Gut and Werewolf for that heavyweight. And Frankenstein and Zombie Man. Now, Frankenstein, Robert Mallier, is a wrestler, so we'll see. Then they've got a heavyweight championship match as well, so the 2 heavyweight champions will
We
fight.
welcome special Monster Brawl dignitary, the perpetually hyper mount from the south, Teddy Hart. Come on, baby, staple.
Yeah, this looks like it's got potential, but it looks like they're going to screw it up too. I was kind of right. They are kind of screwing it up, but they're doing some cool stuff here because they showed the Cyclops now and he's training. He's like doing punches and stuff. It's a bit disappointing in that the idea of they're not going to let the monsters just go. They're trying to rope the monsters into being wrestlers in their way.
Buzzard Bay, Massachusetts.
We'll see how the other one is. Cyclops is fighting the vampire, I think? No, the witch.
You're the worst witch ever! Witch!
Yeah.
You're a witch! Bitch!
Yeah, they're focusing too much on the story part of wrestling, which is odd to think that they're doing it wrong in the movie. Looks like the representative coming to get her recruited is Wee Man from Jackass. Maybe?
What do you want? I'm known around these parts as the Grub.
Nope, just a little guy.
That's
But anyway,
professional monster bodyguard and manager.
yeah, it looks
Who
stupid.
sent you in? Listen,
The monsters aren't reacting monster enough. We're not even into fighting yet, and this...
piss off, troll.
I don't care about the story.
We're holding a monster fighting event next month.
Just go to the fighting. Do it.
We'll make you the most
Remember
powerful
Bloodsport? Yeah, let's do that. Skip ahead. Show a little bit to give us some character, but this is telling us
We'll bow.
instead of showing us. To show us. Show them do some cool stuff. Make it more than 8 monsters, and show them destroying some other ones to bring that up. Have fodder, like Bloodsport did.
Tell me again. I want
Ah.
to stand up.
And the Cyclops wins because he blasted her with, as Lance Henriksen says, mythical laser blast.
Cyclops win!
That was pretty crap.
And now he's doing Ultimate Warrior ring
shake.
shake.
This is, disappointing. It's... He punched the midget's head off. That was good. Why do we get more of that? And yet, if I remember correct, there's no tournament. That's it. That's him. He's done. He wants Hades now. There's no point. Now this one's interesting, because this one just has a mummy breaking out of a museum. There's even a news thing confirming it. He just broke out and killed the dude. So, yeah, this one's legit. This isn't the I'll be a thing. This is a legit monster. Here's hoping. Meanwhile, we've got Transylvania. The opponent for the mummy is the Lady Vampire, I believe.
Not far from the village of Feldorf.
Yeah, there's this vampire hunter dude looking for someone in Transylvania. So, yeah, Lady Vampire is going to get him.
Villagers said things that have happened here must not be known.
We know what a vampire is. That's the problem with this. They're trying to give us story for monsters we get. We understand what these monsters are. That's the point. And yet, like the mummy, it's loose killing. Okay, done. Witch bitch. You got to sell us on the idea of a witch. Don't do that. Don't bother. It's a lady vampire. Okay, you're calling her that. I know what that is. They're spending too much time in well-shot stuff that has no point. Because then they're going to go fight in a ring and whatever. A big problem is Dave Foley is doing this kind of character where we're gonna look at the next thing and it's gonna be a whatever matchup. There's no truth to his emotions. It sucks. I like the mummy. He's neat. They should be all this straightforward. I have high hopes for the Wolfman and the Frankenstein now. The vampire is its own thing. It's a lady vampire, but whatever, okay. But they're actually doing this pretty decently. If she doesn't do a Dracula setup, I will be amazed. No, she just... No, she did. Then did a roll, so fair enough. So the mummy's got an ancient sun relic, which harms a vampire. This one's smart. This one's well done. The problem is the vampire is wrestling like a woman's wrestler. And it's not that good. Not saying women's wrestling is bad, but she's not that good. And is winning. I'm no longer excited about the werewolf. They've got his origin happening here, and it shows a girl getting killed, and the guy goes for vengeance and kills the wolf that did it after he's bitten, so now he's a werewolf. So it's literally a new werewolf. And how do they keep screwing this up?
String impenetrable marshlands.
Alright, Grizzly Planet as an animal planet, like a documentary show, in Louisiana. So we're gonna have the bog monster come up with this. The bog monster looks impressive, so werewolf and bog monster, that should be interesting, but
One of the most bizarre and disgusting
no.
creatures in the whole world.
Yeah, there he is, or Swamp Thing, or Swamp
The
Gut.
Louisiana Swamp Gut, the undisputed king of all reptilian bog dwellers.
Yeah, this is... We know what it is!
Swamp Gut with its nebulous surroundings. So toxic is its slime and venom that it changes...
They're trying, but they're failing because they're being stupid about it. It's also really repetitive, because they just showed us what the werewolf is and what the swamp gut is, and now they're going to set up the fight.
I know you've been hearing it. Walking through the swamp with that big gut of yours, you must have been hearing it.
Okay, we got a promo now.
Been saying it. All the toads, all the creepy crawlers have been saying it.
They're doing it wrong. They're doing 80s style promos for the wrestling. They're setting up a fight they already set up. And the O werewolf wins.
First heavyweight matches in the book says werewolf is crowned with the creature conference heavyweight.
The commentary's bad too. They're not only getting things wrong, but they're even calling it before it happens.
The heavyweight winner from the undead.
It's just detracting from it.
Pittsburgh.
What's left? Frankenstein and a zombie. So I'm hopeful on this. We should be okay here. What do we have here? Oh, that's Kevin Nash. Okay. Things should pick up.
As you were, Liz.
We'll see.
It's no workings of life we must first have.
So this one's setting up good. They've got the zombie actually being part of a military thing, and Kevin Nash is the soldier for the manager who's been training him. And it's linked to the 69 outbreak, Night of the Living Dead. They're doing little references like that, and that's what they need to do more of. That's what they should be doing the entire time. The Lady Vampire should have been one of the brides of Dracula. Swamp Gut, there's actually a funny idea. He was like anti-pollution, and he was like a hippie in a way, but he's a brutal monster because he eats people. Here though is the Frankenstein monster. Literally the Frankenstein monster. So if they went all out for the named Frankenstein monster and an actual mummy and stuff like that, why did they make things up for other ones? It just...
I am not recording the vision of a madman.
No. But I've got high hopes for this, because the zombie one should be neat, even though the zombie looks stupid. They're calling him Zombie Man.
Discovering the cause of
But,
life.
I got high hopes for this. But I've been saying that a bunch of times and been disappointed, so... This has 2 fights to pull it out. Kevin Nash may have just redeemed this movie. He's bad-mouthing Frankenstein, and then what are you gonna do when he defeats you and eats you? But the zombie looks ridiculous. And they're calling him Zombie Man, not a zombie or the zombie. It's this... They introduce Frankenstein and he's like... The commentators are, technically, it's Frankenstein's monster, if you want to be a dick about it. Alright. Okay, so, as expected, the managers, the Igora and Kevin Nash got involved. Igora hit Zombie with a pipe, so Nash hit Igora with a hatchet and killed him. So Frankenstein got pissed and did this awesome back and forth punching. It looked incredible. Coming into this, I wasn't sure who would win, the main monster Frankenstein or Kevin Nash's guy. I've got a feeling that with one dead the other, that we're going to have Nash with Frankenstein. Oh, and the head squished. There you go. Frankenstein wins. And then suddenly, because the zombie died, zombies are coming out of the ground in the graveyard. Frankenstein can take him. This one's good. Werewolf, he's cocky, but Werewolf and Frankenstein now. And the good thing about this is that we've seen what they can do and they've established some cool stuff. So, let's see what we've got. Here we go. So the werewolf gets Frankenstein down and puts on a figure 4 and does the werewolf woo beforehand. Ric Flair would go woo before his figure 4. Alright. Except the problem with this isn't Ric Flair versus The Undertaker as much as they want it to be. This is slow and plodding. It started off with a kind of main event feel of what's going to happen, what are they going to do. But, So,
years old.
the
And now back to the action.
Frankenstein, if I understand this, squeezed his head and headbutt him and like, oh, he's not cold, he's dead, he's the champion. And then, like, that's it. And then they go over to Sid, Sasquatch Sid, who got bit during the zombie outbreak, attacks the other commentator, and he shoots him. And then they go back to say, back to the action, and says Frankenstein is the winner. He's even got his belt. Like he's going to get his belt. Of course the metal belt will be attached to something lightning-like. Well, maybe not, he's got his belt, he's happy. And he raises the belt.
Frankenstein parading around
Lightning?
the ring with a championship.
Lightning? Lightning? We'll see. So the werewolf is now beating Frankenstein, but Frankenstein's back up, of course. And they even said, the commentary says, we could be looking at the first ever Monster Brawl champion. I thought Sid was a former champion. They don't know their own stories. Unless I'm just not getting the idea of different divisions or something, but this is a slow, stupid, plodding battle. How did they screw this up? Frankenstein's the only good thing in this, honestly. But how did they screw this up? What's worse is the filming of like the background stuff is great. There's awesome scenes, awesome visuals, the like Transylvania and whatever. This is a good finish. Frankenstein is gonna. He put one hand here, and he's ripping the werewolf's head in half. Why wasn't the rest of it like that? Why wasn't the rest of it like that? That's what we wanted. They promised duel to the death. So, the hell? But beyond that, they don't seem to know how to film wrestling stuff. The best filmed footage in this movie is the background scenes, the origin scenes, which are the worst parts of the movie because we just want to see the fighting. And it's bad fighting with bad commentary, with some bad characters. It's kind of frustrating, all told. Now Frankenstein's wandering off to the crypt. I'm putting money up that Kevin Nash is going to be his
Well, wait a minute.
Yep. Because yeah, the Grave Digger guy helped out Nash and shot guys up, but he got bit. So now we're going to get Kevin Nash, Soldier Zombie, versus Frankenstein. Save this, Kevin. Save this movie. They screwed it up! They screwed it up. So, they've got a storm going and they don't have lightning come in to hit Frankenstein ever with the belt, which was perfectly set up. Kevin Nash comes out. It's like, Frankenstein! And they come up nose to nose. They're both the same height. They're badass. They're like, don't change that dial. We got another brawl that's going on now. Nash throws on the belt, steps on it. They both rear back. And it cuts to black, or it cuts to the commentary, just looking, and it goes to black, and credits. How do you screw this up? I don't want a sequel to this. This isn't what it should have been. How do you screw it up? Have you heard Darkstalkers? Yeah, monsters fighting. Go. You don't need story. You got a mummy. You got Frankenstein. Put Dracula in it. Put in a werewolf. You probably got your whatever copyright, so you can't maybe do Talbot, but put a werewolf in it, like a classic werewolf. Put in Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. Throw him in there. Put whatever you want. Hey, you don't want to do Dracula? Do Nosferatu. Okay? Do that. The Swamp Gut was actually a clever original idea. That one was good. I liked that one. That was okay. But the werewolf was some new dude who was whatever, and he put more of a fight than anybody else. The Cyclops didn't fit at all. He was just some dude. Like it. It's Canadian. Collingwood, Ontario, Owen Sound, Epping. There's Canadian Heritage. Tax money went into that, I think. Ontario Media Development Corporation. Yeah. My tax money went into that. How'd they screw that up? No animals were harmed in the making of this film. Were there animals in this film? I don't think so.
I'm so excited. I feel like an elephant sitting on my tongue. That's how excited I am. Let me tell you this right now. I've been at Madison Square Garden sold out crowd. You know I have. Right, main event.
Alright, Jimmy Hart at the end in your post-credits bit.
But this is the most
Zombie behind you.
I've had in so
Zombie.
Of course. Oh, my favorite monsters. We had Frankenstein there. Cyclops was there.
Zombie.
Bitch was... Zombies? Oh, please give me a break. I can't stand zombies. Let me... Oh, you know what? I was just telling my friend on the phone here that you're awesome.
And a zombie eats Jimmy Hart. So, I'm just going to mute this, because I'm not done ranting on this yet. Ultimately, Monster Brawl isn't so much a movie as the kind of sporting event you wish really existed. Dread Central. I agree with that. I wish it existed. Because it would have made this good. If they pulled this off, it would have been fun. I would have wanted Monster Brawl 2. And yet, what we have is a mess. I really don't know how they screwed this up. I'm probably going to have to watch the commentary with the writer, director, and producers. But, oh, Jimmy Hart outtakes. Great. This is a very hard movie for my friend Jason to recommend. He loves horror movies, and schlocky horror movies. This is one of those. However, it wasn't for him. He's not a wrestling fan. He's not a fighting fan. He understands it, he gets it, but it's not for him. It's for me, though. This isn't a horror movie. This is a wrestling movie with monsters. Half of the monsters are good, half of them aren't. The fighting is bad. It's poorly done. The one saving grace they hold out as a carrot for the next movie. The climax is plotting and slow and sucks. The commentary is annoying as all hell. I've never seen Dave Foley be so unfunny. The costumes are good. For the most part. The witch was stupid. They tried to put too much story into it in things that don't matter. The entire middleweight divisions, the Cyclops, the witch, the mummy, and the vampire, had nothing to do with anything because they don't come back. It was a waste of time. They could have done it as an all-heavyweight tournament where you had them fighting each other, like Bloodsport, and you get your little character moments by showing little bits of training. How did they screw this up? So yeah, it's not a guilty pleasure unless it's a movie you love. This movie made me screw up my line. You shouldn't feel guilty about it if it's a movie you love. Sometimes it's a movie I missed because I want to showcase movies that you shouldn't be embarrassed to love and that you shouldn't miss, because sometimes you do. Sometimes you just overlook them and you never saw it. Sometimes I miss them, though. This is one of those times. I'm not flat out saying Jason recommended this, but I am... You can tell how upset I am about this. They screwed this up. Now, could I have done better? I'd like to think so, but not with that budget. That's the worst part. All the elements here should have made this work. Except for the wrestlers, I guess. And the guys don't know how to film wrestling. You shouldn't feel guilty about it if it's a movie you love. And I celebrate movies you shouldn't be embarrassed to love. And celebrate ones, showcase ones rather. Showcase ones that you're afraid to miss. That you shouldn't miss. You may have missed. This one you should probably miss. It's a hard sell for anybody, and yet I cannot recommend this. If you're curious, go ahead. If you like the concept, you will be disappointed. You will be. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. It does not reach its ultimate potential. It meanders on with nothingness and subplots that have no point, no purpose. I'm essentially rehashing what Jason said, but he was right. This movie fails the guilty pleasures test. It's the first failure. It's bound to happen eventually.